Hi, everybody, and welcome to Band, Cadet Band, and Band Honors. I'm Mr. Rogers. I'm the Director of Bands here at Providence Catholic, and I'm going to take you through some of our talking points for Meet the Teacher evening, and these are some of the things I'd like to cover over the course of the video. So welcome. My class period always takes place in room 229 or outside. Before we get into some of the class things, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about myself. I have been teaching now for 12 years, and this is now my 6th year teaching at Providence Catholic. I originally graduated from college and moved down to St. Louis with my wife, and I taught at Edwardsville High School, which is by St. Louis, and I lived there for 6 years, and then we were very happy to be able to move back to Chicago because all of our friends and family are basically from this area. So that's what drew me to the Chicago area again, just to be by our family, so it worked out really well. Like I said, I actually grew up in this area. I went to Homer Junior High, and then after that I went to Lockport Township High School before graduating from ISU. So my college work was at Illinois State University for music ed and also for music performance, and I'm actually now just finishing my graduate work there for music education. So what will we be learning in band this year? What is my child going to be learning? We are using the National Association for Music Education National Standards, and the 4 pillars or common cores that we'll be talking about are going to be creating, performing, responding, and connecting. And this all has to do with music. So creating music, performing it, responding to what we hear and what we experience, and then making connections between the different pedagogies of music performance, music participation, music rehearsal. All of those things are connected in that 4th pillar. So those are the national standards, and that's also what we use here as the basis for the band curriculum that I'll be working with your students on. So those are the things that we'll be doing. Obviously, we'll be doing things like rehearsing and having practices and rehearsals and sectionals and things like that. But in order to get very specific about what we're actually doing in those rehearsals, these are the 4 things that we'll mostly be covering in class, whether that's outside or indoors. Okay? How and when will your student be assessed? Every single week, we always will have at least one sort of assessment, whether that's through smart music or it might be a homework assignment. Again, you guys all know at this point that teams will be used as our main source of getting things out to students, and so you as parents can see it as well. But every week, I usually at least have one smart music assignment that's due for my class, along with other homework assignments. The students are also obviously graded on participation in rehearsal and in performances. The classroom expectations are obviously all outlined in the band handbook. I'm working right now to finally work on the revisions and finalize that. So it's going to be out for everyone probably within this week, and then you'll be able to look at that online. It'll be posted to teams. And I'm trying to make everyone's lives easier this year and actually have a online form that says, I read the handbook and I understand the expectations. So please take the time to read the classroom expectations, especially the expectations on student attendance, because students are graded when they show up to rehearsal, and then they're also graded accordingly when they don't show up to rehearsal or they don't communicate with me. So my biggest expectation is that my students are going to be professional, respectful, act as young adults. But one of the most important things for me is we need to keep the lines of communication open between the director, the staff, the students, and the parents. So if there are extenuating circumstances or an emergency that comes up, please make sure we communicate, send an email. That's usually the best way to get in touch with me, which is going to be my next point, I think, in just the next slide. So if your students need any additional help for band in any way, shape, or form, I am almost always available after school on the days that we have our band cohorts. I'm sure by now you'll be realizing that band will be on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays on those alternating cohorts and things like that. So anytime your student is here on those days, if they need additional help, they can make an appointment with me, and we can have that socially distanced, of course, whether it needs to be indoors or outdoors, if it's playing an instrument. And then finally, if you need to get in touch with me, I think the best way to get in touch with me is obviously email. So I put down here at the bottom, if you need to ask me a question, please send that to lrogers@providencecatholic.org. That's my direct email address. But if you have other questions that are more parent-based or for the BPO, that's when you would send those questions to band@providencecatholic.org. So just so everyone's aware, I do not have access to the band@providencecatholic.org account. That is only being accessed through our BPO board members. So they're checking that. They're getting back to those emails. So if it's a question for me and they get it there, they ultimately just end up forwarding it to me. We're just trying to eliminate that middleman to send that over, send it to me. So please feel free to reach out to me whenever. If you do need to give me a call, the office phone, the phone number is 815-717-3152, except we're usually not indoors. So if you call and leave a voicemail on the phone, I may not see it for another day or two until we're actually back indoors or inside the office. So easiest way would be through the email. I'm excited about this year. I know we are in a very interesting time right now with everything that's going on. But either way, I want to make sure that the students are having a great experience, whether that's they're here in person, if they're at home and they're learning from their homes. I want everyone to have a great time and to still feel like that this is a band family, especially for our young people. So I hope this answers some of your questions, but if not, feel free to reach out to me, and I would be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again, everyone. I'm looking forward to a great year. Bye.